Hey, it's Panzerkunz here, and in this video I wanted to highlight two battles I had. The first one was against an Uber bomber, probably one of the best bombers in the game, and the second one was against a really good pilot who was in a GA. And in both battles I was in my ME-262 trying to get rocket kills for my other video, and if I would have tried to attack these guys both head on, I would have lost both of those battles. But beating them at their own game, you use their strengths against them. Instead of taking the fight to them, I wanted to take the fight somewhere else and fight them indirectly, how I showed in my other videos. And looking at this bomber, when they get ultimate equipment, they get all the premium consumables, 12, 13 skill pilots, this bomber is pretty much unbeatable. There's nothing you can really do, especially if they know what they're doing. And I have to give them credit because I've seen other bombers with this plane specialized and they're not very hard to take out. So those Uber bombers out there, they make it OP. Even though it's OP already, they know exactly what to do. They know how to bomb things. They know how to use their tail gunner to 100%. So I have to give them credit. But in these two battles, I was able to come out on top. So let's take a look. So coming into the battle, I want to start it here at this point. As you see, we're about 5 minutes in to the match already. The teams are pretty much even. We just got the mining plant. As you can see, it hasn't fully ticked over, and the enemy team has just gotten the center airfield. And I was very surprised to see this fighter pair because one of the pilots there, he's one of the best bombers in the game, and I've never seen him fly anything other than a bomber. So this was really interesting to me because usually when he's in a bomber and he got a flight mate there to protect his six, it's very hard to beat him. I think out of maybe 15 or 20 games I've ever remember playing, I've only won like 2 or 3. So it's including this one. But now that they're in a regular aircraft, I know the playing field is even, so I have a chance to win. And the plane they're in, it's the Tier 8 multi-role Swedish J21RB, and it has 10 rockets on it that reload in 60 seconds. So I'm thinking if you specialize it, you put the strength and hard points, you can get the reload down, and you can basically play it like a bomber. So starting the match at this point, let's get right into it. I see them both. I send a bot on him. His flight mate comes after me, so I kill him with some rockets. I make a turn. And one thing I didn't notice in the battle, but as you can see, he switched the nationality of that aircraft to a German. And in my head, I'm thinking he's probably using one of his higher tier bomber pilots that have a lot of bomber crew skills, like a demo expert, decrease the chance of critical hits. So he's probably got this plane set up pretty much like a bomber. So knowing that we have the mining plant right now, what I'm thinking is my best chance to win is to defend this right now. If I go on a head-to-head match with him or his flight mate, it's only going to be distracting me from this. Usually when a dangerous bomber like that's in the game, the best strategy is to try to take them out. So I focus a lot of time on them. But in this battle, since he was in a different type of aircraft, I'm going to try to just hold this because I know he can't just bomb it freely. So coming around, obviously right when you get a mining plant, the enemy bombers and GA just come streaming in like nothing. As you can see, there's 2 GA coming in. So I'm just gonna keep mowing them down here. I want to keep this mining plant in our possession as long as possible, and hopefully I can keep it reset enough so bombers can't really do that much damage. And I didn't notice this at the time, but if we take a look at the mini map here, count how many bombers are in the game. 1, 2, 3. And if I hit tab, he switched to a bomber. So he knows being in the multi-role, he's not going to have as big as an advantage if he's in his bomber. His bomber in a couple passes can probably cap this mining plant like this. But in a multi-role, since he knows I'm here, he's going to have to dogfight with me while also trying to attack the ground targets. So he chose the best strategy for himself. And I give him credit for that. But the fact that all the enemy bots are in this area, it's giving me a lot of basically food or cannon fodder to reset the cap. And plus, it's very odd that there's ever 3 bombers in a game. That hardly ever happens. So I have 2 extra bot bombers and 2 GA that I can just keep killing as they come in to keep this in our favor. So that was my thinking. And sure enough, I take that one out. I take this IL-20 out. So they destroyed a few ground targets here, but since I reset, there's less available to destroy. And that plays into my my favor. So I make an attack on this heavy. Coming up and I see him there, sure enough, fully specialized, going right to bombing. And at this moment, it was kind of strange to me because usually when I'm up against a bomber like that, they start firing at me at 1400 meters because their tail gunner has a 1000-meter range and plus equipment. But he was really focused on bombing at this time. He wasn't really worrying about me. As you can see, his bomb bay is open. And look at the, oh, you could barely see those bombs dropping there. So he's 100% focused on this. And in my head, I'm thinking, all right, well, he's the most dangerous player right now. I got to take him out. But instead of doing that, I think, hey, going after him, that's what he wants me to do. He wants me to chase him so he can just wail at me with his tail gun. And if you look at my hit points, in my first bomber video, I said you have to pretty much have full hit points. So if I went up against him with only 278, most surely he can just turn to the left there and start firing on me. So I decide just ignore him and go for the other aircraft in the sector. And he crits my engine right here. I repair it, and then he crits my engine again. So within 5 seconds, my engine is critted twice. So imagine climbing up trying to attack a bomber while your engine's being crit, your pilot's being taken out. So it's very hard to do. So now that we're at 100 capture points, I'm just thinking I gotta defend this as best I can. He's gonna be coming back around with his bomber that has about a 30-something second reload, and I just gotta keep defending. I take this heavy out, and there you go. I reset it 40, and the squad line is up. So that's very important. The squad line is up. Any plane that gets destroyed is gonna stay out of the game. And at this moment, I see his flight mate coming over here to try to get me here. We both fire rockets. I'm able to dodge them, but I have more rockets, so I was able to take him out there. And in my head, I was thinking, good, that's one person that's going to be off of my tail. But I'm pretty sure the bomber sent this ME-209 on me. So I'm thinking I got to keep my speed up. I can't get caught in a turn fight. I can't get caught making a mistake right now. I need to focus on what I'm doing, which is taking out this GA. So I make a turn. I want to take out that ME-209 just so I don't have anyone on my tail. But I decided to go for the IL-20. So I'm making an attack run. And this is the key moment in the battle that I want to highlight. If you look at our mining plant, we have 50 capture points left. So this heavy ground target right here is worth 50. So if they were to destroy this, they would get the mining plant. And it'd be 3-1. And we'd only have 1 garrison. And it'd be pretty much game over. And just after I destroy this IL-20, there you go. I destroyed it, so I reset our cap to 90. Look how fast this ground target is destroyed. Almost instantaneously. I don't know if it was this Ju-88 or the bomber up there, but literally 1 second. If I was 1 second late destroying the IL-20, they would have got this. So what did I do? I beat the bomber in his own game. Instead of trying to attack him where he can use his tail gunner against me, I was able to just reset, and I got an ace while doing so. I was able to reset the cap to where his bombing meant nothing basically. He can't bomb if there's no ground targets, and if I keep resetting the cap, killing other enemy aircraft in there. So this was a really good battle I wanted to highlight. And even when you're up against some of the best players in this game, if you play your cards right, you can still come out on top. I throw up a GG, and his flight mate throws up one as well. As you can see, I got the Golubev for 3 rocket kills, Ace, and Marcel. So there's the battle. So checking out the end plates of the match, As you can see, I got almost 17,000 personal points, which in the grand scheme of winning don't really mean that much. But what I really wanted to show is my capture points. I got 740 capture points, 360 while defending, and 380 while attacking. And according to the game, for capture points received, if I get 375, that's considered good. So I pretty much almost doubled that while capturing 4 sectors myself and destroying 20 aerial targets. So if we take a look at the bomber stats for the game, this is what he did in the RB-17 after he switched from the multi-role. So in just RB-17, he got 260 capture points and destroyed 6 ground targets. So 1 special target, that's worth 80, 2 medium, those are worth 30, and 1 small, so that adds up to 260. So what I defended, 360, I basically erased everything that he did. If I wasn't taking out those aircraft in the mining plant, he would have easily captured the mining plant probably a minute before I killed the IL-20. So this is just a good example of beating a bomber or GA or a really good pilot at what they do best, which is destroy ground targets. Well, I'm going to reset. If he had started the battle in the bomber, I think it would have went a lot different. Would have went very differently because he would have gotten there first, and I would have been on the back foot the whole time trying to play catch up. So most likely he probably would have won, to be honest, if he was in the bomber the whole game. But because he was in a normal aircraft, it evened the playing field, and when things are even, I can fully use my heavy aircraft to its full extent to get the advantage. As you can see, every second of what I did counted, and that's what I wanted to highlight in this battle. Alright, so this battle is going to feature a very good pilot. His name is Batushka in a tier 8 German GA. And whenever I come across this pilot, I know it's going to be a fun match, and I know it's going to be a tough match because whatever plane he's in, he'll give you a run for your money. Whether it be a bomber, GA, fighter, even a fighter that's less maneuverable, he'll still make things tough. And to me, that is the kind of pilots I like to go against because I know it's going to be a good battle. And he's respectable. He throws up an 07. He always throws up a GG. So these are the kind of battles that I really like. But in this video, I'm talking about beating them at their own game. He's a GA, I'm a heavy. So GA is supposed to focus on ground targets, right? But in this clip, you'll see I'm the one who destroys the most ground targets. So coming in to attack, I'm thinking he came here, and I make a note. And I'm gonna be pausing this a lot to talk about what's going on. Just a FYI. I make a note that there's a thunderbolt up there. Now, the best pilots, whenever you want to attack them, they always turn to face you. So I can't really make a decent attack because he's facing me, and obviously we have about the same guns, but he can do a lot of damage to me. So I go a little head to head, and I keep going, and I have his attention. He turns on me. So just like in the previous video, previous clip, okay, I'm gonna use that against him. He wants to focus and try to kill me in here. I just happen to be paying attention a little bit more. And look at these ground targets. Look how low of health they are. If these were full ground targets, then yeah, I wouldn't be able to do this. I'll probably go after the P-47 here. But he could have easily kept going and taken these ground targets already. But since he's focused on me, he knows that I can give him a run for his money. I use that against him, and I beat him at his own game. He's firing me. He's firing at me. Now I'm going to take out these 2 ground targets right here. This one's worth 30. This one's worth 20. So that's 50 points right there. Almost as valuable as killing one of them in this cap. And coming around again, take a look at the center mining factory here, the mining plant. This is worth 80 capture points. They need 110. So we need 110. If all he needed to do was turn a little bit and throw a few rounds there. But no, he's coming after me. So I pretend I'm going on a head-to-head with him, but in reality, I'm firing at the ground target. And look what I do. I get the ground target. So just by outplaying him, I've gotten 30, 20, 50, plus this. That's 130 capture points. Basically, 2 passes. His buddy there manages to damage that. So I know he has a lot of HP, so I know I can't take him out. So my focus is on the P-47 now. You want to go head to head with me? All right, let's do it. I take him out, and that's the key. We got the mining plant, and we have 2 mining plants already. And when you get 2 mining plants early on, it's pretty much game over. He's able to land some shots at me. He sets me on fire, and he takes me out right here. But as I'm talking about, beat them at their own game. He's a GA. What are his strengths? Ground targets, right? If you distract them, and if you make them focus on you while you're doing their job, taking out ground targets, that's the way you can really get the advantage. So in conclusion, whenever you're up against a really good pilot and you know he's in a bomber, he's in a GA, or he's in a heavy, something that you can't really counter, like let's say you're in a multi-role or fighter, don't just go up to them head to head and just be killed over and over. Try to do something else. In both of those battles, if I would have tried to attack those guys head to head, the GA would have ran me and easily took me out, and the bomber would have killed me with his tail gunner. So not all the time it's going to work out, but at least if you're doing other stuff in the periphery, like let's say 2 Spitfires are in the center airfield and you're in a multi-role, if you keep going to the center, they're just going to tear you apart. But if you can cap all the garrisons around, that can probably help you win. And even if you don't win, you know you got a good score. So those are the 2 battles I wanted to show in this video. And I hope it was somewhat enjoyable for you guys. And I wanted to show what it's like to go against really good players. And in the future, any other good players I come against, even if I lose, I want to try to highlight the battles to see what they do, because every time I'm beat by a really good player, I use it as a learning experience to try to get better. So I want to face them. I want to see what they do, how they beat me, so I can try to learn that, copy that, and in turn become a better player myself. So that was it for this one. See you guys next time.